processing gas at a Petronas gas processing plant in Dungon turned into a tower of fire. This after lightning was believed to have struck it last night during a storm. Firemen from the Paka Fire and Rescue Station were assisted by the Petronas firemen team as they battled the blaze at the distillation tower. The area was then cordoned off by security personnel. Fortunately, no injuries were reported as the fire was finally brought under control by midnight. Residents in the area, however, reported that there were heavy lightning strikes at the area that evening.
A massive explosion rocked Petronas' refinery and petrochemical integrated development rapid at the Pengerang Integrated Complex near Kota Tinggi at 1:25 a.m. Friday. The blast was followed by a huge blaze which could be seen kilometers away. It is understood that 2 Malaysian workers were injured in the incident. The extent of the injuries has yet to be established. Video and images of the ensuing fire at the complex have gone viral on social media, with several local netizens claiming the truck drivers slowed down unusually.
Debe apoyarte, chavo, allá, güey. Pues mientras, ponte los saltos, todos los chalecos. Ya, ahí, están grabando. Árbol grande, Júpiter. Árbol grande, Júpiter. Espérate, lo que llega. En lo que llega.
The CSB found that the close proximity of the sulfuric acid fill line to the sodium hypochlorite fill line increased the likelihood for workers to make an incorrect connection during chemical unloading. The CSB also discovered that the 2 fill lines looked and functioned identically, using the same type of connections. Lastly, the CSB found that of the 5 fill lines in the unloading area, only 1 was labeled at the point where the hose connected. This can include physically separating fill lines by a discernible distance, selecting hose couplings and fill line connections with unique shapes or colors for each type of chemical, and ensuring that fill lines are properly labeled. Also during its investigation, the CSB found that at the time of the incident, MGPI did not have instrumentation that could automatically shut down the transfer of chemicals from the unloading area in the event of a process deviation, since the only ways to shut down the transfer of sulfuric acid to the sodium hypochlorite tank required human interaction and were located within areas affected by the release. There was no way for workers without proper personal protective gear to stop the flow once it began. Procedures were not aligned with their work practices. On the day of the incident, the operator was not present when the transfer hose was connected to the fill line. Even though the company's procedures state that operators must verify the connection and that the operator should be the one to open the fill line valve, but the CSB discovered that some operators were not aware of these steps in the procedures and that it was their practice to have drivers open the fill line valve, thinking this would be safer. since drivers wear personal protective equipment in the event of a release.
Okay, what have you seen just now are the accidents and risks that just faced by the employees, causing injury, permanent disabilities, or even death in oil and gas industry. By understanding the launch of a nationwide safety awareness leading figures from the oil and gas community, this Hirarc report is designed to improve the awareness and understanding the oil and gas industry, and helps to give a better map in its contribution to Malaysia. Petronas Oil and Gas aims to demonstrate the central role that the industry plays through the innovation, job creation, and its economic contribution both direct and indirectly. The oil and gas industry supports the thousands of jobs across Malaysia, is the largest industrial investors, supplies the oil and gas to meet half of the country's energy needs, and makes the major contribution to the Malaysia's overall prosperity. The first step is to build a new picture of the industry's Malaysia-wide network of skilled workers and celebrating the breadth of the supply chain supported by the sector. Petronas Oil and Gas is encouraging those who have worked across the industry to realize and raise the awareness by contributing and report if there is any potential hazard that may harm the community. The Malaysian government recently has been telling that oil and gas industrial strategy brought deserved recognitions in our industry, and the capabilities to our world-class supply chain. Nevertheless, the sector is still laboring under several misconceptions about our reach and relevance, and we need to improve safety awareness and recognitions of the importance, value, and we add to the people's life. A true success story for the nation is that back in 2004, the minister in the Prime Minister Department, Dato Mustafa Muhammad, stated that Petronas contributed almost 25 billion ringgit to the country's treasury accounting, that is referring to 25% of the revenues collected via dividends and other revenues in 2004. So it means that Petronas continuously provides the Malaysian government dividends from its profit, and it's an expanding industry, and by working together we will be able to help create more jobs opportunities, attract the best talent, and at the same time celebrate the breadth of the sector. Thank you for the Hazard report.